Welcome once again to the City of Maple Grove Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. Thanks for joining us, along with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator, with packets full of paper here. We've got everything with us today. We've got a long meeting to talk about, plus a couple work sessions ahead of that. A lot going on in the city, as you might imagine, in June, July, so we'll give you some updates on that later on in the program. Let's begin with the work session. Two work sessions, one a closed session, and the discussion topic was Lifetime. Can you give us a little update there?
Yeah, so we continue to be in negotiation with Lifetime Fitness regarding their facility there connected to the community center. So nothing, to report at this moment in terms of that, but we do intend to go back to closed session on June 14th and continue those discussions, and hope to have that issue finalized here in the coming weeks and months. So that was our first meeting of the evening with the closed session. And then joint City Council Park Board meeting to talk about the community center project. Of course, that's something that continues to move along. Part of the 2023 legislative session, we received $6 million from the state for the project in terms of supporting the design and pre-design work. And so we had a discussion with the Council and Park Board about advancing the arena component of the project. Due to some restrictions on sponsorship and naming rights, those types of things, we're going to be parceling out that arena project and kind of approaching that as a separate project, and we'll be just using the local option sales tax for that arena part of the project and advancing that. And then going back in the 2024 session for the construction dollars piece of state bonding for the balance of the project, and then over the next year kind of work through kind of advancing some design on that. So kind of taking a phased approach, if you will, but you'll start to see us do some design work on that arena component, which is really on the far west end of the project, and then some parking impacts over there as well, but we'll be taking a look at that side of the project as part of the first phase, and then going back to the legislature in 2024. All
right, as we have been, we'll keep you up to date as things move along. No items pulled from consent on the 5th meeting, but then we move ahead to some of the special business, and there was a lot of fun that was had and a big crowd at the meeting for some very good reasons. The first was the Fire Prevention Poster Contest winner. Give us a little idea of this great gem of the community.
Yeah, so this is an annual event that takes place that we work with 4th graders in the schools in Maple Grove to do a fire safety poster, and then they're entered into a contest, not only here locally, but also then they are entered into a state level contest as well. So Dylan Sudan was with us that evening, and he's a student at Heritage Christian Academy, and his poster was selected. It was very well done. He's got some art skills as well as public speaking skills. Councilmember Handsome asked him to come forward and talk about, what his fire escape plan would be at his home, and he was very well prepared for that presentation. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, pretty cute that he's a 4th grader and obviously has spent a lot of time thinking about that and planning for that with his family. So congratulations to Dylan. He does receive a small cash award, and then he did get 4th place in the state contest and a little bit of a reward there as well. So that's always a fun event to honor that student.
Yes, congratulations. Next, we went to the dogs at the council meeting with the retirement of one dog and the oath for a new dog.
Yeah, lots of barking in the chambers that evening. So we had the recognition for Canine Kalo and Sergeant Keith Stewart, who's been his canine handler since 2018. So Kalo's going to be retiring. He's got a little front foot issue that he's going to have repaired, but he's been a great partner for the department and a very driven, hard-charging dog, and so he will be missed on the streets here and in the support role for the police department. He was also recognized at the Ales and Tails event that took place over at Central Park last Saturday. Keith and Kayla were there, and I think I saw a little kind of a dog birthday, not birthday cake, dog recognition retirement cake for him. So that was kind of fun. So Kayla will be missed, and he's been just a great partner for the department. And then a few weeks ago, we were able to attend the graduation for our new canine, Judd, who's going to be with handler Officer Tyler Huso, and so Judd is going to be joining us on the street now, and so had the swearing in for Judd and recognition for Officer Tyler Huso as well. So lots of fun things with the K-9 program, and I think kind of an emotional time too when you have a K-9 retire and a big shift for that officer and kind of their life and their work in the police department. So grateful for Keith Stewart's commitment and for Tyler Huso stepping up for our next chapter in the K-9 world.
Definitely.
So also the Lions Club was with us on that evening, and we accepted a donation from the Lions Club in support of the new K-9 unit ballistic vest, and that'll go to Judd, our new dog, and then some training facility hearing protection equipment. So the Lions Club donated all in $13,500, and what a great gift to the community, to the police department, and we just really appreciate the partnership of the Maple Grove Lions Club and how they've always been so supportive of the programs here at the city.
Many members there in their yellow shirts,
yes,
proudly giving the check over to the city. Then we continued the police theme at the meeting, and we had the oath of office for 2 brand new officers.
Yeah, so we were able to swear in Joel Moore and Officer Brett Quam. Joel Moore has been with us as a CSO, and so we're grateful to be able to move him into a patrol position. And then Officer Brett Quam comes from, he was an officer currently at the city of Moorhead for the last 3 years, and so making the shift here to the Maple Grove PD. So both those officers will be out on solo patrol now.
Welcome to both. And that was about 45 minutes of the hour 45 meeting. So again, a lot of fun at the beginning. Now to some of the other business of the meeting and going to public hearings. Easement vacation, the first related to Arbor Lakes Business Park, building number 8.
Yeah, so this is kind of an old easement that was situated along kind of the 694 edge of this piece. And so this development project kind of got tabled at Planning Commission during its last consideration, but we go ahead and take care of these easements. There's a process, publication, that kind of thing. Okay. But it's always contingent on those land use approvals. So that one was heard and approved by the council. The second easement vacation was having to do with the Silvercrest proposal for the cottages at Silvercrest. That again was considered later in the agenda, so kind of a similar process is that this was considered and then is contingent upon those land use approvals, and so cleaned up some of those easements that were existing between those 2 parcels over there and allows that development to move forward.
Very good. Next to community and economic development items, and the first big item was the Minnesota Science and Technology Center Planned Unit Development Concept Stage Plan. It's a lot, and this is quite the development and quite a piece of property. Give us some background.
Yeah, so this is right along 694, sort of the continuation of the gravel mining area development of kind of office and industry, and so this is a great project. It's going under the name of Black Bear at this moment. It really takes up kind of that 40 acres south of on the south end of this, up along 694, and it's just kind of due east of the land that's been under development by Endeavor Properties, Josh Budish carrying that one. So this is a partnership with the McCrossan family and Ryan Companies. We're still working through kind of the details with the end user here, and still competing a bit for this project, and so we're hopeful that this project will land here, but this sets it up, provides those concept stage approvals, and you'll see on the June 26th agenda coming back kind of a public assistance package or public subsidy package for this development. The state is at the table in a really significant way for this user, and so it's a pretty exciting project, and I think really lays the groundwork for continued development in this sort of science and technology space with lab and R&D, those types of users out there. We've always been really focused on wanting to make sure that in those buildings out there that we have good jobs being created, not so much on the warehousing side, but really wanting to see kind of that, you know, R&D, office use, lab, production, all those types of things occurring in those buildings, and this is kind of the high-end example of that there up along 694. So more to come on this one as we move through kind of that public subsidy package on June 26th, and again, state a huge component of that here, and then hopefully come back for development stage approval, later this summer or into the fall.
Very good. Next item was a continuation or a separate item related to the cottages at Silver Creek. We had the easement earlier, and then this was the planned unit development. Again, give us some background of this piece of property.
Yeah, so this is kind of a piece of land that's situated between the current Silver Creek on Main development and then the Applewood Point project to the east. There's a piece of land in there that was actually, the original concept plan had more memory care, kind of a taller building that would be there. They came back, Silvercrest came back with an 18-unit cottage home type product, of course targeted at the 55-plus type population, and it would be kind of connected to the Silver Creek on Main project in that they would have access to, sort of the common facilities, the fitness facilities, the meeting rooms, the banquet space, those types of things within the Silver Creek on Main project. And so it's tied to that and would be managed under the same, property management, would have an HOA, those types of things. So a number of concerns from the neighbors to the east there at Applewood Point that they've been working with the developers at Silvercrest to try to address those things, and a number of those were sort of memorialized in the PUD agreement, such that if there were to be a sale of that parcel, I think there was some concern about what if that sells off and is under different ownership and not connected to that. So some language in there that if anything like that were ever to be proposed, they would have to come back to the city for some approval. Really working on kind of the landscape, the architectural materials, how the stormwater would work through there, lighting, those types of things. So I think everybody got to a place of being comfortable with this project, and I think it'll be a nice addition over there, kind of provide another entry point to that continuum of care that's really offered there at Silver Creek on Main. So this one was kind of the final development stage plan approval, so we'll likely see some construction there in that last parcel over the maybe starting this fall.
Very good. All right, the final discussion item was one that has been in the works for quite some time. This is the rental housing ordinance and something that relates to the moratorium, which is ending at the end of June. So again, this is a larger one, a little background of this topic and what was discussed at the meeting.
Yeah, so this is an issue that was identified in our goals process that we initiated in the winter of 2022, was to address sort of, our rental housing program in general. We were kind of struggling to keep up with rental housing inspections, the increase not only in the number of apartments, but also kind of those single family homes that were either, transitioning to rental through corporate acquisition is oftentimes the situation, or just wholesale neighborhoods being constructed or being flipped to rental. And so we really needed to take a step back and take a look at those issues. And so we did do a moratorium that allowed us some time to take a look at our policies around rental licensing. We're augmenting some staff. We added a fire inspector. We're going to be transitioning, or we're in the process of transitioning those apartment inspections over to the fire. They're in the fire staff, they're in those buildings anyways, so some efficiencies to be gained there. And then we're going to be augmenting, or requesting to augment, some code enforcement staff to help kind of support that rental housing licensing piece. But some changes that we're making, one thing that's being removed from the code is the requirement for a rental license if the owner of the property resides within the same unit as the renter. So you're renting a room to your brother, no need for a rental licensing there. Okay. One big shift that we think is really important, we've really struggled with sort of absentee landowners, non-responsive property management, not only to our issues as a community, but also to the renters. Right. And so one of the changes that we've made is the owners of rental property who do not reside within the 9-county metro, which is the 7-county plus Wright and Sherburne to our west here, are required to maintain a management agent in the 9-county metro at all times, and then current contact information for the agent must be kept on record for the city. So we're really trying to get after that. We've had some issues with corporate ownership being out of Texas and just really not responding to any issues up here in these properties, and so we're hoping that will help remedy some of that. occupancy within homes being limited to that's established within the International Property Maintenance Code, so dealing with some of kind of those occupancy issues, and then some more promotion of our the crime-free multi-housing program, and making sure that our renters are taking advantage of that, so our landlords are taking advantage of that. So the rental moratorium will end on June 30th of this year, and then we will start to accept new applications for those kind of single-family, single-entry homes beginning on July 10th, and then they'll be operating under our new code as well as existing as well. So nice to have this process wrapped up. I know moratoriums are impactful to folks that are in that business, but we really felt like it was important to kind of take this time out and make some policy tweaks here to set this up to operate a little bit better for the future.
Very good. All right. One of the big items at the meeting on the 5th. Now let's get to some staff updates. Community economic development. Busy time as we head into the spring, lots of ribbon cuttings, and later we'll talk about groundbreakings, but first the ribbon cuttings, a few new businesses to talk about. Yeah,
so this is an existing business that's changed ownership. Rock Elm up at the Grove has changed its name to Polly's. It changed ownership there, and so we're going to be celebrating a ribbon cutting up there. They've made also some changes to the interior of the restaurant, added some gaming space, that type of thing, and so that'll be Wednesday, June 7th, today, this afternoon, at 2 o'clock. And then also we have a new e-bike store, electronic bike store, Pedigo. That ribbon cutting will be 3 o'clock this afternoon, and that's located in the strip mall, kind of next to the Dairy Queen over there off of Weaver Lake Road.
All right, so those happen on the 7th. Today, as we're recording this, on the 8th, Arbor Committee meets, and they have a special guest, the mayor, and the Monarch Pledge. Tell us about that ongoing discussion.
Well, the mayor won't be at the Arbor Committee meeting, but they're going to be talking about the mayor's Monarch Pledge and what the Arbor Committee can be working on with regard to that. The mayor will be at Great River Energy later in the month. They are partnering with us on this Monarch Pledge and doing some special plantings over there. Nice. So the mayor will be over there to provide some comments and thank them for engaging with us in this effort. We do have a Planning Commission meeting next Monday night coming up here, June 12th. Right. The Arbor Lakes Business Park, Building 8, we mentioned that project that was tabled at the last Planning Commission. That may come back to the June 12th Planning Commission. You might see that there. Okay. Some TRICARE up in the kind of the northwest area of the city. This land is kind of north and west of Menards up there off of County Road 30, if you're familiar. Some lot splits that they're doing up there in preparation for development. And then we have a proposal for a church up in the northwest area of Maple Grove. River Valley Church, that's been meeting at Whirly Ball, is proposing to build a church home up there, kind of up off of the new Arbor Ridge Parkway. So we see a lot of development of activity up in that area, coming kind of north from Menards, and then from the south up Evanswood, those types of developments that are happening up there. And with the completion of 610 project getting underway later this year, we really do think that's going to open the door to more development interest in that northwest quadrant of the city. So we'll see how these go at Planning Commission on June 12th.
All right. One other note mentioned at that part of the meeting was Chalk Fest, big event coming up. It's this weekend, the 10th and 11th, I believe. Can tell us about the fun of Chalk Fest, where it happens.
Yeah, so 2 blocks on Main Street. We'll have all the chalk artists out there. There's going to be some food and beverage available, and the businesses, of course, on Main Street open as well. So should be a great weekend. The weather is looking favorable, not so hot this weekend. Little bit of rain maybe Friday night into Saturday morning, so we'll be monitoring that, but looks like a great weekend for some great chalk art on Main Street.
Fun event. All right, Engineering and Public Works update, just one item, and it's probably done by now as we record this, but there was a water main break that caused some trouble on Bass Lake Road.
Yes, we had a water main break just kind of west of 494 there, Cheshire Lane area. So this was, I'm sorry, Berkshire Lane is where that was. Water main repairs taking place there, and I bet you're right, it's probably done by now. Those are things you got to get after real quick, and those are, you kind of work till it's done. So
short window of time to get all of that done and get traffic back going. Administrative updates from the meeting on the 5th. You mentioned upcoming on the 14th. economic development manager interview process, and also a little bit more about Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah, so we're going to reconvene in a closed session to continue our discussion with regard to Lifetime Fitness. And then we do have economic development manager interviews. We do engage the council in this. This is a very public-facing, business-facing position for the city, and so really want to make sure the council is engaged with that hire and that we get the right fit for the city of Maple Grove and how we interact with our business community. So that'll be the evening of June 14th.
All right, then the final notes were a couple date changes coming up here as far as city offices being closed and also some council meeting changes.
Yeah, so another action of the state legislature was declaring Juneteenth as a recognized state holiday, and they actually took extra action to make it effective this year. So coming up here in a few weeks, June 19th. City offices will be closed that day on Monday, June 19th, and that would have been our second council meeting of the month. So that meeting shifts by a week to Monday, June 26th. So all the regular, actions and items will be just shifted 1 week later. And then note that our July 3rd council meeting is canceled. So we'll kind of go June 26th and then out to July 17th for those kind of midsummer meetings.
All right, we'll keep the updates going around those meetings as well. A couple items happening around the city now. Let's give you some updates of things to watch for. And one is the summer newsletter. Again, there's a lot going on, and this is a great way to stay in touch.
Yeah, so summer newsletter is out and available, should be received in people's homes and businesses, available on our website. Do want to note one thing with regard to the Juneteenth holiday. There is an event being that is happening at Central Park that day. And I'm sorry, it might be Town Green. Sorry, yes. Town Green. Yes, as I said that, I was like, nope, not there. Town Green, and there's lots of information on the front page of the newsletter about that event. So encourage folks to go out and participate in that event as well.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that in a minute and give you a few more of the details of that. We mentioned some of the ribbon cuttings. Now let's go to groundbreaking. So the business process continues on. What's coming up out of the ground in the city? Yeah,
so we had a groundbreaking for Next Turn. This is out in the Arbor Lakes Business Park. Again, more activity in the gravel mining area. This is building number 7 for them. So Next Turn is a medical device and manufacturing company. Really fits into what we're trying to achieve out there in those fields. Really excited. This is kind of they're bringing in employees that have been working in facilities in other parts of the metro and kind of bringing them under one facility here in Maple Grove. So that was the same day as the K-9 graduation. That was a busy day for us. I think it was May 25th.
Yes.
And then earlier that week, we had the Magnify Financial groundbreaking, and that is their location. It's next to Brick and Bourbon over there, the old Broadway Pizza site, and they're expected to open early in 2024. We also had a ribbon cutting for Upshur Smith's expansion, about a 270,000 square foot expansion to their manufacturing here in Maple Grove. Mayor was able to attend there with some of their corporate leadership, and so that was a nice celebration for Upshur as well.
A lot of business happenings in the city. Also a lot of opportunity to get your cameras out, and the photo contest is underway, and you're encouraging residents to snap some shots.
Yeah, Chalk Fest this weekend would be a great opportunity.
Fantastic.
The photo contest is open through June 30th. It's all online on the city website. You submit all your photos there. And then again, just as a reminder, we use all those photos in our publications, social media. It's really great to have all that great photography of Maple Grove.
This is the time of the year that the city talks about firefighter recruitment, a special event coming up. Tell us a little bit more about the event and this opportunity.
Yeah, so we do have our firefighter recruitment, paid-on-call firefighter recruitment going on at this time. We have one last informational meeting that will be held on Monday, July 10th at 7 p.m. at Fire Station 2. That's the one just north of Weaver Lake Road there, off of Elm Creek Boulevard, Maple Knoll Way.
Right.
So that's 7 p.m. on Monday, July 10th, and then applications are accepted through July 16th. So we'll be wrapping up that recruitment process. Lots of information available at mgfire.info.
Okay.
But I think one piece, I've seen a couple of recruitment, they're doing a lot of really great work around recruitment for paid-on-call firefighters. Just saw a promotional video that was just great. They've been doing some social media posts, just kind of highlighting, our firefighters are a very diverse group of folks that come from every field, career-wise, and are there to serve for a variety of different reasons. So if you're interested in looking at becoming a paid-on-call firefighter in Maple Grove, I encourage you to kind of take a look at some of those promotional videos, the social media talking about our current staff on the paid-on-call forces, and I think it's really a great opportunity, of course, to give back, serve your community. Great camaraderie within the fire department, and there's a pension to boot.
Right.
So if you're thinking about it, really encourage you to come out on Monday, July 10th to that meeting, and also check out some of those resources that are out there to help you understand what that might be for your life.
You bet. That website again, mgfire.info. We have been talking about the change in recycling in the city as far as a drop-off spot, and that change has occurred. So again, residents just need to know a new spot to take things to.
Yeah, so that recycling drop-off site on Fernbrook Lane closed as of June 1st. We did have, we posted some things on social media, some questions as to the why. We did have a work session discussion about this item and got some direction for council that was noted in those social media posts. So if folks are interested there or have questions about that, they can learn more. Really, this is, it's kind of a duplicative site. We have the Hennepin County drop-off site just kind of on the east edge of the city. We had staff retirement here and really are kind of re-looking at that parcel there at the corner of County Road 30 and Fernbrook, and felt like this was sort of an opportune time to do that. The other piece of this, the resource for residents, is you can always request a second recycling bin.
Sure.
And that gets picked up at your curbside. I know Ken Ashfield has done a video over here at CCX Media talking about that, and I think one of the pieces that we started to really see at that recycling center, in recent months and year was, just recycle boxes, Amazon boxes, not being broken down, just being dropped off. And I think if folks, in their own recycling, break down those boxes, it really can help get you some more room in your recycling bin. And then for what you can't handle there, the Hennepin County site is available to you. So we'll be discussing that corner parcel here probably in the next, coming months, maybe over the fall months. And of course we have the Old Town Hall, of course, to the north as well. We're anticipating bringing that topic back to the council later this late summer, early fall as well.
All right, go to the city's website again to find out more about the center over on the east side of the city. And you can make sure you drop off your recycling there. I want to talk a little bit about water, and it's funny to talk about it here that it was flooding time and all of a sudden we've shifted completely to drought time. And the city is talking about watering restrictions once again to carry those on. Yeah,
and I think we're just going to continue down this road. I think we've really seen sort of a reduction in the use of water, and we haven't really seen an impact to the quality of landscape. And so, most cities do carry some sort of watering restriction, sort of that odd even restriction, and then no watering between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And so it is amazing that we're back talking about needing rain after what, how much water there was around us this spring. But it happens pretty quick. And so I think this is just good conservation and good water resource management going forward, and helps us in those drought conditions as well.
All right, another topic to get you thinking about outside is grass cutting. So it is that season as well. What are some reminders for residents about cutting the lawn?
Yeah, so we do have a reminder for residents that city code limits the height of grass to a maximum of 8 inches. And then also noxious weeds need to be removed from there as well. We really encourage residents to submit any complaints about that to our C-Click-Fix system that's on our website. There's also an app for that. And then that gets that complaint right to that staff that addresses those things, and it gets documented, and we can keep track of those things. So we really encourage folks to utilize that tool.
All right, let's wind things up with some fun activities going on now that it is summertime and the weather is nice outside. First activity area is the outdoor pool. How are things going there?
Yeah, so starting June 9th, the outdoor pool will be open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a popular attraction during the summer months. We did have some repair issues that we had to handle last weekend, so unfortunately during that very hot weekend weren't able to have that pool open, but starting June 9th, the pool will be open daily.
And those looking for water during that week went to Central Park and the splash pad, very busy.
Yes, last weekend was, Central Park was overflowing last weekend. So splash pad is open daily from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And of course the playground and all those activities over there makes it a great spot for the summer days.
Another great activity outside during the summer is the Outdoor Farmers Market. How is that going? And again, where is that when?
Yeah, so every Thursday afternoon from 3 to 7 at the community center. We have a great lineup of vendors, over 50 vendors this year, and every week kind of maybe a different theme, some live music, those types of things. So really encourage folks to stop by and visit the farmers market every Thursday afternoon.
And speaking of music, how about Town Green? It's time for the concerts to wind up again. When do they start, and when can people look to find more information about those?
Yeah, so kind of a really exciting one. I'm a child of the 80s, so the Cross Community Players is holding performances of Footloose starting June 16th at the band shell. So check out the Cross Community Players website for the dates and times of that, but that'll be a great production. And then starting June 26th, musical performances are starting at 7 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday evenings. Those run throughout the summer. Of course, we have the kids' entertainment offered every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. And then the Friday night movies return starting the week of Maple Grove Days, July 14th, and go through the fall as well. So we'll start to see that fun activity come back at Town Green.
All right, information now available on the website, maplegrovemn.gov. You can find out all of the concert dates to get your seating scheduled. We mentioned a little earlier Juneteenth. Again, mention that big celebration coming up and all the activities that are planned.
Yeah, so again, at Town Green, Monday, June 19th from 3 to 8 p.m. The celebration features spoken word and storytelling, live music, dance performances, Black-owned business fair. We have various activities, food and beverage available. So it's kind of a come-and-go event throughout the afternoon of Monday, June 19th, and encourage folks to attend.
Fantastic. And last note, you mentioned it just a second ago, Maple Grove Days, not that far away.
No.
What are the dates and where can people go to find out more?
Yeah, it'll be here before we know it. So July 12th through the 16th, our annual Maple Grove Days celebration. Parade being, of course, that Thursday night. So lots of activities, and you'll start to see that the guide come out probably pretty, I think it usually comes out towards the end of June or so.
I think that's
and then if you want information before that, maplegrovedays.org for more information at this time.
Get ready for that summertime fun. All right, that wraps up the last meeting and a lot going on in the city. Heidi, thank you very much again for the information. Let's leave you with the next council date, and again, some changes coming up here, so make sure you have these noted. That next meeting is going to be on Monday, June 26th at 7:30 at the Government Center. Website down at the bottom corner of the screen. Again, maplegrovemn.gov. A lot going on in the city, and that's where you want to go to stay in touch. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the City of Maple Grove Report. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Have a great week.